turn on the music. We can have it on a little bit in the background. We're live, and welcome back to Please Don't Livestream. We're back, and after a slight hiatus, I don't remember when we last did an episode. It was with Indie last week. I don't know. Anyway, we've had a slight hiatus, but now we're back. We have a schedule. We have scheduled it all the way up to the end of the year, or just before Christmas. So now we should be able to just move along. And we actually have a plan for the rest of the year. Oh, sorry, I'm a little rusty. I should welcome back my esteemed co-host, Christopher.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Yes. So let's briefly discuss what the plan is before we start talking about the burbs, which is tonight's movie discussion. Tonight's topic. That's what I'm trying to say. Right. So, the Burbs was made in 1989. Technically, it was made in 1988, but it was released in 1989, and it's the 30th anniversary of that movie. But it's not just the 30th anniversary of the Burbs, of course. It's the 30th anniversary of 1989, the greatest year of human history. Why is it the greatest year of human history? Because we were born in 1989. So, of course, it's the greatest year. So, our plan, starting tonight and up until, the last week of the year, is to celebrate this wonderful, wonderful year by talking about some of the most popular movies of that year, some cult classics like The Burbs, and some of our personal favorites, and at least one kind of weird movie from that year. But we're gonna start, kind of gently here with this Joe Dante cult classic called The Burbs, and we're just gonna have a discussion like we usually do. And I don't know, I had seen the movie a few years earlier, but I'll just was this the first time you saw it, Christopher?
This was the first time I saw it, but of course I heard of it and I knew of it, and I knew most parts of it because it's a movie referenced a lot. So
yeah,
I knew of it and about it, but this is the first time I actually seen it. So
yeah, and to no one's surprise, I of course heard about the movie a few years ago through Red Letter Media. I get everything from them because I'm a sucker. It's actually one episode they referred to Jay Bauman as Hans Klopek because he had the chin strap beard and looked kind of like Hans Klopek. And I was like, who's this Hans Klopek? And I looked it up, and that's how I saw the movie. I don't know. Well, maybe we should go through quickly what the movie's about, since it feels like it's a cult classic, but it's kind of forgotten. People don't really talk about it anymore. It's essentially a movie about the burbs, the suburbs. Tom Hanks is on a vacation, well, basically just staying home from work, to try and take it easy, to relax, to wind down from all the busy work in the city, basically. But he starts suspecting that his new neighbors, are up to no good, based on really nothing. It's just that their house is not as well taken care of as the rest of the neighborhood. But
and also there are some weird noises.
There are some weird
lights
noises.
coming
Yeah,
from
sure,
there,
sure. So him and a couple of the other neighbors start snooping around. I don't want to say much more after that. I know, but we're gonna get into spoilers, I suppose. But we don't have to say more right now. But that's basically it. I don't know. What was your initial impression of the movie?
Well, first of all, I did not look it up. Do you know? What is he building in there come out before or after this one?
It came out I think exactly 10 years after. I think the Tom Waits song "What Is He Building in There" came out in 1999.
All right.
I think so at least. But
it was
that's the first
very
thing I thought
reminiscent.
of. Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
There were some parts that was good, and some parts was really bad. I'd say. Um, I don't think I I'd recommend it to anyone, or even rewatching it. But
Yeah,
it was fine. It's it's a very standard 80s comedy,
yeah,
with like the beats they take and the how it's structured, and that's not that interesting by now. But I think it's because we've seen so many of it, or I have. So
yeah, and I agree. Like, I I can. It was a box office hit back then. It was poorly received by critics, which I understand to some degree. Um, but it was popular among the audiences, and I can also see that it has a lot of the elements of a successful movie, especially Tom Hanks in the
mm,
leading role. Like the year after, or the same year, he won an Academy Award, or was nominated for an Academy Award for something. I don't remember. Um, but yeah, I agree. I liked the movie, but I was a bit underwhelmed by it.
yeah, I
Um,
think that's the biggest feeling I have. Underwhelmed.
yeah. Um, Especially since Joe Dante, that directed it, his not his previous movie, but earlier in the decade, he made Gremlins, which is an
Yeah,
amazing movie. And you can definitely see some what's it called?
similarities.
Similarities. Thank you. Similarities between the two, especially in like the quirky characters, the slightly like off kilter characters,
Mm.
and the slightly fantastical setting. Well, it's very fantastical in Gremlins, but
Yeah, and it's very similar. It's also like in the burbs, and it's the same kind of community with
yeah,
like it's very similar in all of those things. And I guess that's based on real life. I don't know. That the burbs are like this in maybe this not this extreme, but there are
yeah,
things that so he takes it from there. Maybe he grew up there in a burbs or something like that. I don't know.
yeah. Well, we both in an earlier life almost lived in a kind of similar place,
Yeah.
in a suburb, um, and this is like it's definitely like a hyper realistic version
Mm.
of what it is to live in the suburbs. And it's actually kind of funny that you mentioned that, because there was the worst review the movie got was from
Mm.
someone that I think lives in the burbs,
Oh.
because he took some offense. Let's see here. Um, so the movie only has 45 on Metascore, but it has some pretty
Mm.
good reviews
But is
from the
this
time.
like a a new review, or is this from then when it came out?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Mm.
I think it's an old review. I'm not sure. But
Mhm.
like from Chicago Tribune, Empire, and Cineview, it has pretty good scores, like 88, 80, and some middling reviews. But then uh, from
Mm.
the Orlando Sentinel, Jay Boyer, I'm just going to read a little blurb here. Um, the folks who made the Burbs appear to be card-carrying members of the school of non-urban humor. Basic to the philosophy of this school is the misapprehension that anything occurring outside city limits is intrinsically amusing. So I feel like he took offense because he lives in the suburbs. I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I'm guessing here. He got a little triggered by the movie, but
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like, especially when you live in like in a cul-de-sac like that, it becomes a very like close knitted community. Um,
By the way, he was nominated for Big.
Oh, it was big. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was like 87, right? So he was nominated in
Yeah.
88, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, big. That's a good one.
Oh, it is.
I wish that was made in 89. Anyway, oh, 88 it
Instead
came
of
out.
this.
It came
Yeah,
out in
it is.
88.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um right. So of and you get to know like different personalities, and people have weird quirks, and yeah, they've amped it up to 11. But that's, I wouldn't say that this movie is like uh that it makes fun of people in the burbs. It's just, being a little over the top.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same as taking like how in movies how dangerous like cities are.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's like
This is just the other way
it's what
around.
movies do.
Yeah, yeah. So I just thought that that review was
Yeah.
kind of funny. It was like, "Oh, this is not how I. This is not my suburb," like that, and therefore he gave it a like 2 out of 10. Just kind of that's not fair. It's not that bad.
No. No.
Um, but let's talk briefly about at least what I think makes it not as good as it could be. The first thing is that it's too long. I think it's like an hour and 40 something.
Yeah.
And I would say like after the first like 30-40 minutes, it feels like the movie hasn't really started up yet.
Yeah.
They've had a few like scenes where they're kind of snooping around, but they don't really find anything. And they kind of repeat that a couple of times where they're trying to find something, but they can't really find anything.
Mm.
There are some interesting scenes in there, but they could have cut like 10 minutes out of that first 30 minutes. I think that would have helped the pacing.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem with the movie, well, in the pacing department,
Yeah.
is that it's paced as a horror movie,
Yeah.
but it is a comedy. So they have this build up, but there are no like frights after the build ups or a big joke after build up. It's just build up for nothing really,
Yeah.
for suspense that isn't there.
Yeah, and I think that's that yeah, that's also like a big problem. Like it's supposed to be a comedy with there's like some slight horror elements, but it's not enough there to actually like pace it like a horror movie. But they do. And also the fact that we're not giving we're not given any real reason to suspect the Klopeks except for them being like reclusive. Yeah, and we see them digging in their backyard.
Yeah,
That's
but
about it.
but digging the backyard also, that's like maybe halfway. By then they're already decided that they're bad.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they're already decided from like the first scene basically when
Yeah.
we see the neighbor whose wife is out of town. Or I don't even remember his
Yeah.
name. He knows from the beginning. Oh yeah, they've killed someone. It's like wait. Can we
Yeah.
get some like some sort of like backstory to why they're suspecting them?
I have a few ideas why it is like this. I have no actual facts behind it, but it's just what I think.
Yeah.
But I need to go into spoiler territory for that, so maybe we'll wait for those things.
Okay.
Mm.
Um. I,
If you don't want to go to spoiler territory already, I don't know.
I mean, I I think we're gonna have to discuss certain spoilers in order
Mm.
to work out the kinks of this movie. And the
Yeah,
movie's
but
30 years old, so
yeah.
if you have
Well,
to, you know,
yeah. Well, all right. So, uh, I got the sense, especially with Tom Hanks' speech at the end, or angry screaming,
yeah,
that then after that rant, the movie destroys this theory. So I have a feeling that was tacked on at the end
uh,
with the things in the ambulance
oh yeah,
and
okay,
that.
yeah,
So if you imagine those things aren't in the movie, so
yeah,
the ambulance things,
yep. Oh yeah,
may I think that I got the feeling that they were trying to make the point that they were the crazy ones. That
yeah,
the main characters, they are the crazy ones in the suburbs, and that's that's the point of the movie, that they just decide these guys are bad, we need to stop them even though they haven't done anything.
yes,
But then at the end they are shown to be right, which undermines the whole movie really.
yeah. And I kind of didn't like that part,
Yeah.
because I think the movie. All the way through the movie, it just builds up to this giant anticlimax.
Yeah.
It does end with an explosion. I mean, they blow up the
Mm.
house, but yeah, we're still like, oh, they didn't find anything. The Klopeks are just, they're a little kooky, but that's it.
Yeah. And
Um,
I would have wanted that movie to end like that,
that
because
could have
then
that could have been the ending. Yeah.
yeah, and but I have a feeling that somewhere along that the movie was written to have that ending, but then somewhere along the way, someone wanted a happy ending.
the 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 one thing I do know is that uh, there was a different ending. Even uh, they even shot a different ending, but
Oh, okay.
that the Klopeks were always going to be like
Mm,
crazy murderers or whatever they are. They don't really say what they are. They killed the last owners of the house. That's it.
yeah.
Um, but that it would end in uh, in the ambulance where you just see them like driving away, from what I understand,
Oh,
which would have been kind of fun. Like all
yeah,
this time, like the Klopeks were just they were different, and
yeah,
then they kill him in the
yeah,
ambulance, which would have
yeah.
been, I guess,
Because
better, but
there were like these foreshadowings.
mm-hmm.
Um, they were they were mentioned. We don't know if that's true, but they were a mention of that their old house burned down.
Yeah.
And then when they actually talk with them, they say, yeah, we have to move a lot, we move houses 4 times in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And I was fully on board that would be foreshadowing that, yeah, they're a little weird, but every suburbs they move to, this happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone attacks them and destroys their house, and they're just, fuck, come on, give us a break. We're just some regular people with some weird habits.
Yeah.
I was fully on board on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if that would have been the movie, and they have like maybe changed the pacing somewhat and maybe put some more focus on uh well, actually, like, evil the main characters are.
Yeah.
Uh if they like just rearranged those things, this could have been a great movie.
Yeah. Honestly, when I rewatching it now, I'd kind of forgotten how it actually ended. I knew
Mm,
I knew they were evil,
mm,
um, but I started thinking like when the doctor, I don't know, Doctor
yeah,
Klopek goes into the ambulance and he starts talking to Tom Hanks, to
yeah,
Ray Peterson. He's
yeah.
like, I know what you're up to. I know what you did. I know who you
Mm.
are. It was like, what if this is like some sort of like repressed memory thing, and Tom Hanks is actually like an evil psychopath, or he's the devil incarnate or something, and they're there
Yeah.
to stop him. I was like, hey, that, but
Mm.
there wasn't really any setup for that, but it was like
No.
that could have been interesting.
Yeah, I think that's why the movie falls so flat. Like now, 30 years later,
Mm,
I'm sure it worked better back then,
yeah,
but by the way, by the standard we're accustomed to in movies now, I think the movie would have been worked better if they some more like criticism for the suburbs and the weird
mm.
people who live there, and that would definitely set off that reviewer guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
If
way
it
he,
turned out they were the bad guys.
yeah, and it just feels like it's supposed to be like a critique of suburbanites,
Yeah.
painting it out as a little weird, but in the end they turn out to be right and they save the day. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
what was the point then, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, it does kind of fall flat at the end.
Yeah.
And even before that, it feels a little too long, a little forced almost. There
Mm.
are some definite like good scenes in the movie, but
Oh yeah.
but overall, uh, I don't know. It could have been better. I
Yeah.
don't know what else
I,
to
I
say.
really I really like the scene with, I don't think it's the opening, but it's the, or maybe it is the opening, when we are introduced to all the characters
Oh
with
yeah,
the dog running to the lawn,
yes,
and they raising the flag and all those things. I
yeah,
really like that because it's such an efficient and good looking way to introduce everyone's personality. And from there, we're all on board on who everyone is.
yeah. And I wanted to bring that up as well because
Yeah.
that is classic like 80s like visual storytelling, especially
Hmm.
in these kind of genre movies or whatever you want to call it. We talked about that when we talked about what movies we want to remake. When I talked about The Last
Hmm.
Starfighter, which
Yeah.
opens almost exactly the same way, where they they do this dolly all through the town, and we see all the
Mm.
different like families, and we're introduced to all the characters with their little quirks. And the same thing like in Back to the Future, they do kind of the same thing, but
Yeah.
more with like locations,
Mm.
because he skates throughout the city or the town, and we get to the school, and we're gonna re-see that in the 50s. A lot of like a lot of 80s movies did that, and it's
Yeah.
something we don't see too much of today.
Unfortunately, because it's great.
Yeah. For this kind of like mainstream genre movie, it's a perfect way to introduce your characters.
Yeah.
Um, and I also want to say, when we talked about I don't remember which episode it was, but I was trying to like get you and Gabba to watch Shazam. I
Hmm.
was. Do you
Yeah.
remember? And you completely shot me down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen it?
Nope.
Oh, okay, okay. But that movie, and that's partly why I like it, because it resembles an '80s movie like that. It does the same thing with introducing characters. When he's an orphan, and he gets to his new foster family, and we're organically introduced to each character with each quirk, with this like long dolly shot throughout the house. Well, sort of.
Mm.
But anyway, yeah, it's something we don't see very often, except for in Shazam, I suppose. And there's a lot of that in the movie. It just feels like a very like quaint little like horror comedy, and it's something we like the whole movie, the way the whole movie's made. We don't see movies like that in the mainstream anymore.
Yeah.
There's like some like indie movies and independent movies made, but on the like in mainstream cinemas, we never see movies like this anymore, and that's sad because I like the style of the movie. I like the characters. I like the concept is really fun. It's just the
Mm.
execution isn't as
No.
perfect as it could be.
Yeah, I mean the concept is it's a great concept. Like Hitchcock did it,
Yeah.
and what was that called? Which that movie with Shia LaBeouf?
Oh, no, what's it called? It's based on the Hitchcock
Yeah,
movie was Rear Window.
is it
It's
Paranoia?
uh, yeah,
Something like that.
something like that. Let me look it up. I actually like that movie. Um,
Yeah, it's okay.
it's
I haven't
it's
rewatched it since it came out, but yeah, it was okay.
2007, 2008. Disturbia.
Disturbia,
As
that was
Suburbia
now.
Disturbed. Yeah.
Right, that was one.
Yes. And there's like a couple of movies made like that, and the most famous one is probably Rear Window, which
Mm.
Simpsons has done, and a bunch of movies reference that movie. Um, and yeah, I don't know. This kind of like wait what?
Hmm?
Oh no, I still had the IMDb page for Shia LaBeouf up, and he had made two movies called Disturbia. I was like, what?
Oh,
But one of them was Disturbia outtakes from the DVDs.
all right.
Anyway. Yeah, I wish they would make more movies like this, and I think we've probably mentioned that before. Like this movie was like 10-15 million dollars, and it's just a fun concept without a bunch of like special effects or
Mm.
weird twists and turns. It's just like a high concept movie.
Yeah, and that I'd say falls a little flat nowadays.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you couldn't make this exact movie now.
No.
It had to have something else.
Yeah.
Um, or really, you could have just tightened it up a little bit, and I think it would have worked. And
Mm.
maybe do the ending where the Klopeks are actually just regular people,
Yeah.
and Tom Hanks is the psychopath,
Well.
basically, or crazy at least. Like he says, we're the
So
weirdos.
I was reading a little. Maybe you read it too, with alternate versions of the movie.
Yeah, I
Um,
read a little bit about it.
yeah, and it was, I don't know. It's half correct, in my opinion, how it should end. Because it says it's supposed to have Ray get killed in the ambulance by Werner.
Yeah.
Uh, Wait, no. First, oh yeah, the Klopeks are pronounced innocent, and garbage bags are found bound and gagged in the Klopeks car trunk. The last ending followed the original ending. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and then there was yeah, Dr. Werner Klope giving a speech to the police on what's wrong with the suburbs.
Okay, yeah,
So I mean, that's basically what I wanted,
yeah.
except that he
That's
would be killed.
well, yeah, yeah, yeah. That would have been a little too much, maybe. But
Yeah, but I mean, if the doctor just have a speech about this always happens with the goddamn suburbs. What's wrong with you people?
yeah,
And then we see Tom Hanks and the other two guys get carted away into the police, and it could be a good ending.
yeah, and also yeah, and that's like something that I think could have been made better if we were actually if we actually met the Klopex um, earlier in the movie, because I think it's like yeah like 50 minutes in when they actually go to talk to the Klopex.
Oh yeah,
They try a couple of times, but it doesn't happen. But
yeah,
if we if we got to see Tom Hanks and whatever his name is, Rick Dukumoon, I can't pronounce his name, the other
mm,
neighbor, like seeing them like ruin stuff on their property or like break windows or like make life miserable for the Klopex in their
yeah,
pursuit of trying to find the bodies or whatever.
yeah,
Um, and them slowly like driving the Klopex insane. So in the end, the doctor has this speech about the suburbs while
yeah,
they're carting away Ray to the prison. Like something like that would have been good.
yeah.
But we don't really get to experience how the Klopex are feeling throughout the movie.
No,
It's all
and
from
also
Ray's
that
perspective.
they sort of heavily imply throughout the entire movie about some kind of supernatural things too,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
like the bee trap and the
yeah,
like 666 on the as the house number, and it's yeah, it's all weird,
yeah. They're trying.
unnecessary things.
Yeah, they're trying to like bait the audience into
Yeah,
thinking they're evil, and then
yeah.
they turn out to be evil.
Eh,
Okay,
we
but
solved
okay.
the riddle.
Yeah, they were right all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, one aspect of the movie I really liked, and I would have liked if they dialed it up
Mhm.
a lot. That was Corey Feldman's part with this
Yeah.
teenager just sitting on his balcony looking down at the things and just this is the better than any TV.
Yeah. Yeah. And the way he looks into the camera in the end and says, "I love this street," which he
Yeah,
says before that.
uh,
That feels like the movie should have almost been
from his
from
point of
his
view,
perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah, like him watching the neighborhood go insane,
yeah,
and him just hey going along with this because he's that kind of dude. But yeah,
yeah,
he's not in the movie enough to make that work.
yeah, and also he's like part of the action in some scenes. He's like down
Yeah,
there with them, and I think they should have dialed back his character to only be sitting on like his porch and his balcony,
yeah,
and then give him more screen time doing that and commenting on the movie.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. He could have been like not the straight man in the movie, but like the voice of reason.
Yeah,
He could have been like Seinfeld in the Seinfeld show. There's
yeah,
all these insane characters around him, and he's like, fair enough. I'm just gonna watch everything burn to the ground.
yeah,
Basically, that
yeah.
thing.
But
Yeah,
or maybe just put him in some kind of narrator role,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
like for if you think about what was that movie called? Rubber. Remember Rubber?
Rubber, the
The movie
killer
Rubber.
tire, rubber.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah. The part of the audience that we have in that movie,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
if we just cut back to them and they commenting on the movie, and this doesn't make sense. What is this? What's going on? And
yeah,
he could have one of those roles. We just cut to him and he's questioning what's happening.
yeah,
I think that also could have been a nice twist, sort of, or a nice something to make the movie special. That's the only thing we're grasping at.
yeah. Something to make it stick out a little bit.
To give it an identity at all, really.
Yeah, it's missing that, which is it, it has a bunch of good ideas and it has a semblance of a personality, but it never really goes all the way with it.
Yeah.
It kind of like we want to do something more, but we can't. Sort of like that.
Yeah. Also, I think it puts its focus on such weird things. Or it spends so much time on weird things. Like for example, his like the dream sequence thing. Um,
I really like that dream sequence though.
I mean, it's okay, but it doesn't. It's how long is it? It's like at least 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's a little long maybe, but it's
Yeah,
supposed.
and we don't get anything from it more than he's suspecting that they're evil. Yeah, we already know this.
Mm. But I think that's supposed to like it's supposed to mark like the second act low point because he understands that like I shouldn't be poking around in this. It's not my business. And after that,
Mm.
he does kind of like try to not get involved anymore, if only
Yeah,
if only for a few minutes, because then they actually
yeah,
start investigating
yeah.
again.
I just think that that's one example of where they put too much time in something that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. Sure. Sure.
and
Um.
there's also like the whole scene where they're going through the what is it called? Wilson? No, the old man's house.
Oh. I don't remember. Yeah, the guy with the toupee.
Yeah, going through his house is just way too long. We don't get anything from it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's a lot of those things.
Yeah. It was just to point suspicion at the Klopex again that they might have killed
Yeah,
him because the dog was missing and chairs were pushed over. But yeah, it was a little too long.
yeah,
Um, but I think like a big part of it could be um, that the movie was shot. I mean, they had a finished script, but I mean, scripts always change, and the movie
yeah.
was shot during a writer's strike in 1988. So a lot
Huh?
of scenes were improvised, like a lot of like the scene where when they're in the Klopek's house and having coffee, you
Yeah,
see Bruce Dern, the military guy, Rumsfeld. He's like picking at the wallpaper. There's
yeah,
this long scene where he's just picking at the wallpaper, and that was just an idea that he had, and they filmed it. Like I think there's a bunch of those little scenes in the movie
yeah,
that aren't really necessary, but they kind of had to fill time because they didn't have the writer there to punch up the script when it was needed.
yeah,
So that could be part of it.
yeah.
But I mean, like I said, the script was written already, so I don't think that's all of it. But at least that's some of it.
Yeah.
And then I know, speaking of Corey Feldman, once again, this is just what I think. But I know that he was like having like a like a tough time on set. I'm trying to find. I was reading about it somewhere. He was like going through some personal thing and was even like doubting whether or not he wanted to continue acting at that point.
Okay.
So he was like, uh, yeah, having problems. So maybe that's why he's not in the movie as much as he should be, or
Yeah,
I don't know, something like that. It feels like
yeah,
there was a bunch of problems on set, which might have added to the movie's like shortcomings. I think.
yeah,
Here, let's see
yeah.
here.
Hmm?
Nope, that was not it. Damn it. Oh well. No, I can't find it.
Yeah, yeah. Probably there's just a lot of small things together
Mm.
creates the problem. Um,
Yeah, and the movie suffers
yeah,
because of that,
but I'm
which is sad because like we said, it's a fun concept and it could have been a really really
yeah,
good movie, and
yeah.
I see why people like it, and I see why
Oh
it has
yeah,
become a cult classic. It
oh
hasn't
yeah,
become a classic because of the shortcomings, but weirdos like it, so it's become a cult classic instead,
yeah.
so to
Yeah, I
say.
mean, yeah. That's it's not a great movie. It's an okay movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's understandable that it got the recognition that it got as famous as it did because it was 30 years ago, and this is how movies looked back then.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
the
and
standard comedy in the 80s looked like this.
yeah, and like I mentioned, like I would love to see more movies use the formula of this movie, like how
Yeah,
like quirky characters, not quirky like weird characters, but characters that are defined by like this one weird little quirk, just to make them more of a character than just being
Yeah.
like I'm guy, I'm lady.
I think those tropes and those that structure has been adopted by TV series or sitcoms and such
Yeah,
since then. That all those things have gone over to that medium instead and left movies. I think because again it works better.
yeah.
Is it?
Oh, I found it about Corey Feldman. It's just
Oh,
here. Corey Feldman had been going through some personal turmoil during filming, and eventually, as he personally stated, he crashed and burned. And while filming, he had struggled personally to hang on to what was driving him as an actor. Both director Joe Dante and Wendy Shaw and Carrie Fisher would be his personal counselors during the filming to help him from getting into trouble.
hmm.
So yeah, that was the thing. But
Yeah.
you don't really notice it though. He does a fine job. Like he's
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a he's a good actor, or he was, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I don't really notice it in his performance, but maybe that's why he's not in the movie as much as he
Yeah.
maybe should have been.
Yeah, and I mean that also that would explain it if his role was cut down because of this and
Mm.
they had to fill it with other stuff.
Yeah.
It's one explanation. Again, we're just speculating. We don't
Yes,
know
yes,
any
yes.
of
No, then
these.
it is all speculation.
Yeah.
Like I'm just reading off of like IMDb and Wikipedia
Yeah.
trivia.
Because I mean, it is possible that this movie is exactly the vision that they wanted it to be. This was what they wanted to be because
Yeah,
it made money.
yeah, it worked then. It just
Yeah.
hasn't stood the test of time,
Yeah.
basically. But I don't know. Like the ah,
Hmm? What?
I want to like it more. That's the thing. I'm like trying to maybe this thing or that thing.
Why do you want to like it more?
Well,
Because you want to be one of those weirdos who likes the cult classic.
no. I didn't even know this was a cult classic before I started reading about it now. I just knew about it and like, oh, okay, it's a movie. Um, no, because it has some, like I said before, it has so many of those elements that I love about movies in general, but specifically like 80s genre movies.
Yeah.
And uh it it has I also I love Tom Hanks as an actor, especially like early Tom Hanks like this.
Oh yeah.
He is just so good, and he's great in this movie as well. Um, and I know we discussed that a little bit when we talked about uh, Turner and Hooch earlier
Hmm.
this year or late last year.
Yeah.
Why that's also one of my favorite movies because he's that kind of actor. Like now we see him as kind of a prestigious actor. He doesn't really do
Yeah.
like crap movies. He does some bad movies sometimes, but when it's a Tom Hanks movie, it's like, hey, this is a proper movie.
Yeah.
But earlier in his career, he did like these kinds of movies, but he didn't like half-ass it. He went all in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's what makes him such a good actor, and that really elevates his role. I think. Like, imagine like I don't know. Steve Gutenberg in this movie. That would be like the
Mm.
most milk toast character of all time. But
Yeah.
Tom Hanks makes it fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I still think that his best movie. Well, no, not best. My favorite Tom Hanks movie
Yeah.
is Joe versus the volcano. I s-
Oh yeah.
it's. I mean, he's made actually great movies like Big and I would say The Terminal also,
Yeah.
which like great messages and great acting. But Joe versus the volcano
Yeah.
can't beat it. Can't beat it. That's Tom Hanks as his best.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, and he made that in 1990, so it's just around
Yeah.
the same time. Yeah, he made a
Yeah.
lot of good movies. So he made
Oh,
Big in 1988. He made Turner and Hooch, which well, it's my favorite. It's not really a good movie, but he made that in
also
1989.
89.
Yeah, 89. He made Joe vs Volcano in 1990, and I think in 91, he made Philadelphia, which he was nominated or even Academy Award
Yeah.
awarded for.
Oh, 93 actually.
Oh, 93. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, around that
And then
time.
and at 86 he did the Money Pit. So
Which one is that? I haven't seen that one.
Money Pit. It's
Money
the
Pit.
it's the one. Uh, A couple buy a house and then it just costs more and more. It's like the Swedish movie.
Oh, whoa! I haven't seen that one.
I
Yeah, it's
haven't seen
like
it for
oh, I don't even remember the Swedish one, but yeah.
yeah.
Drömkåken, the dream
Yeah,
house. Yeah.
exactly. It's that movie more or less. I
Oh,
haven't seen
okay.
it for years, but I remember it's kind of good.
Yeah, and it's also like it's just a regular movie, but you have Tom Hanks. I'm guessing giving it his
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Yeah,
and that's why it's good.
yeah. Oh, I gotta look that one up. Okay, because I love Drömkåken. I love Drömkåken. That's a
Yeah,
great
and
Swedish
you
movie.
shouldn't. It's not a good movie.
It's fucking amazing. It's like a Swedish Home Alone, but with all grown ups, so it's kind of weird. But
Jeez. Yeah, sure,
sure,
whatever.
yeah. But then Tom Hanks has continued to make like amazing movies, like you mentioned, The Terminal.
Mm.
But you have more Spielberg movies like Catch Me If You Can,
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan, Apollo 13. He made fucking Castaway, is an amazing movie,
Yeah, all right, yeah,
and it's all him.
yeah.
And
I
then
mean, he's one of the most well-respected and wholesome actors that exist, I think,
yeah, and
and
he's
not just living that ever
yeah
existed.
of all time, yeah. And
Yeah.
you have like pretty recently made well 6 years now, but Captain Phillips, amazing movie where
Oh,
he is
right,
just
yeah.
so fucking good in it.
Mm.
Um, and he's doing the
Ugh.
he's playing En man som heter Ove, a man called Ove, the
Yeah,
Swedish book and movie.
yeah.
He's playing Ove in the American version.
Ugh.
Ugh,
Oh, well.
eh, eh.
Did you see the? We're just going into. It's just Tom Hanks live
Yeah,
stream now.
we're gonna gush on Tom Hanks because that's the main reason why I picked this movie. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, another good Tom Hanks movie.
Did you see the one where he plays Walt Disney? I don't remember what it's called.
Oh, Saving Mr. Banks or something. Yeah, Saving Mr.
Yeah.
Banks. I
Did you
didn't
see
see
that?
it. No, I
No.
didn't because I don't like Disney.
No, yeah,
So I like
obviously.
skipped that one. But I heard
Mm,
it's good. It's got pretty
yeah.
good reviews.
Also, they. I mean, it is Disney who made it in some capacity. But they really revised history in that one.
Which one?
No, in this
Oh, Saving Mr.
Saving Miss,
Banks. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Saving Mr. Bank, yeah, because that is based on a real story, real
Well, yeah, it's about
what happened.
the lady
Mary
who wrote.
Poppins,
Yeah, Mary Poppins, right?
yeah, and this movie is very revisionary on how it
Ah,
actually
yes.
happened.
Yeah.
They
Well,
really make Walt Disney a lot better than he actually did. Was.
he's not an insane anti-Semite that eats babies.
Yeah, exactly. As as we all
as
know.
he did,
Yeah,
sort
'cause
of.
in the movie, I haven't seen the movie, but I've read a lot about it. In the movie, apparently, there's a lot of things like she's like she doesn't believe in Disney. She was like the
Mm,
first one who said, "No, you can't buy my things because you're shit." And
yeah,
then Walt Disney showing her, "Oh, we're so great," and convincing her that we are great. Actually, you have the wrong picture of us. But in actuality, what actually happened was like he sort of harassed her until she gave in.
yeah,
And
yeah.
also she cried on the first viewing of the movie.
Oh no.
In the movie, she also cries, but that's because she's like, "Oh, I never thought it could be so beautiful." In real life, it was like, "Yeah, they actually did destroy my
Oh
book."
no. I'm not a super fan of that movie, but it's really good. So I haven't read the book. Maybe it's completely different. I don't
I don't know. I haven't read the book either. And the movie's good. So.
know. Yeah, the movie's good.
But yeah, I've been interested in seeing Same as the Bags, but I never did. So
No,
just never
no.
happened.
That's one. Yeah, and the all the what are they called?
Hmm?
The movies based on the Dan Brown books, where he plays Robert Langdon, Inferno, and what are they
Right.
called?
Yeah.
Angels and Demons and whatever. Da
Yeah.
Vinci Code, the Da Vinci Code. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are kind of but
Yeah.
he's good in them, or at least the
I
first
mean,
one. I only saw the
I'd
first
say that's the one of the few movies that I can say I didn't enjoy Tom Hanks. I didn't enjoy his acting. I don't know if he didn't like it or if it's just such a boring character because he's not fun at all to watch in those movies.
one. No, No, I gotta say, those books really don't work as movies. The books are good, at
Yeah,
least the first two. The third one, eh. But
yeah,
the first two are good. They're exciting, but it's a lot of scenes or in the book, it's a lot of chapters of people just sitting around talking about weird historical stuff. That doesn't
yeah.
translate well to a movie because in the movie they're just sitting around talking about stuff, and that's boring.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, he doesn't do a bad job, but that's definitely like one where he kind of like, it's just But I think that's more the movie than him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, that's kind of why I picked this movie, and also why I kind of picked this movie to be the first one because I really wanted to like it because it's Tom Hanks, early Tom Hanks. But
Hmm.
I also wasn't sure if it was such a good movie as I wanted it to be. So I thought,
Yeah.
let's just talk about it as the first one, and then we'll
Something
move on.
easy.
Yeah, something easy. We'll ease into it.
Yeah. So, do we have anything else to say about the Burbs? I don't really have anything else.
Not really.
There isn't much to talk about in the movie, really.
No,
It's just,
unfortunately.
it's more. There's more to talk about what it could have been than what it is.
Yeah, yeah. We we should have done like a remake episode of this movie,
Uh,
like we
sort
did
of.
before. Yeah.
Uh, but maybe we can talk about the schedule that you put up.
Yes, yes. I was going to mention that towards the end. Let's see, where do we have it? Let me just bring it up. Because yeah, like I said, we actually have a proper schedule. So this week, I have it by week. So this week, week 37 was the Burbs, and then we're gonna continue with kind of easing into the 1989 movies. So we're doing Born on the 4th of July next Monday, which you haven't seen that one, right?
No, I have not seen it.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting because I have seen it. I know Gab have seen it if he's gonna join us next week, and I
Mm,
quite like that one. So it's gonna be interesting to see what you think.
mm. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it mostly because I don't like Tom Cruise and I don't like Oliver Stone. So
Oh, okay, well that's kind of like with Tom Hanks here. Like early Oliver Stone and early Tom Cruise, I think is really good. So
yeah, I'll watch it and we'll see what I
yeah,
think about it. Maybe I'll love this movie.
yeah. Well,
Who-
I don't think you're gonna
Hey,
love it. Hey, who knows? Who knows?
um,
But after that, we're doing a movie that I don't think any of us have seen. I don't know. Have you
mhm.
seen it? We're doing
No,
UHF.
I don't. I don't even know about it.
Oh, okay. It's another one of those. Once again, yeah, I found out about it through Red
Mm.
Letter Media because they really like it,
No.
and it once again it's kind of become a cult classic. So I'm expecting that discussion to be kind of like this. Like, yeah, I see why people like it, but it's okay. That's what I'm
Mm.
guessing. But
Oh, it's Weird Al.
yeah, Weird Al Yankovic got to I don't know. He didn't direct it, but I know he wrote it at least. And it
Hmm.
once again like it's this that weird kind of like high concept 1980s movie. So I'm hoping it's gonna be similar to The Burbs and like Back to the Future,
Yeah.
but actually good. Well, Back to the Future is
I
good.
mean, Weird Al is funny, so
Yeah, I really like him. So
yeah.
I hope that's a good one. It has terrible reviews though, but
Great.
terrible reviews. After that, week 40, we're doing something a little different. We're gonna do Back to the Future Part 2, and we're
Hmm.
doing it as a live commentary track like we did earlier this year when we also
Yeah.
talked about a 1989 movie. We talked about Pet Cemetery. So we're gonna do that as a commentary track. It's basically it's gonna be a discussion of the whole trilogy, of course.
Oh
But I
yeah.
think we're gonna focus on the second one since it's from 1989, and it's the best one. I don't know.
The
We'll say
second
that.
one.
Yeah. Ah, I'm not
It,
sure.
I mean, Back
I
to the Future 1 and 2 is one of the hardest to say which one is the best.
yeah yeah I know.
It like either usually it's one or the other is superior in most way. Like for
Yes.
example, we don't agree on this, but I say Terminator 2 is superior in every way in Terminator 1.
And you're wrong, but that's your opinion. So
Yeah.
yeah
But it just
yeah I know
but
yeah
Back to the Future is I mean it's there. It's a hair maybe.
yeah they're neck and neck. It's
Yeah.
the third one is okay.
Yeah,
Um,
it's okay.
that's okay. But then in week 41, I think that's when we move into October. So I try to put as many horror movies or most of the horror movies in October since it's
Yeah.
Halloween month. So
Yeah.
we're doing Society, which is another like satire on not specifically the suburbs, but like upper middle class people.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen it. I've seen parts of it. Um, but I kind of saved it for this. So I have seen parts of it. It's like, no, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save
Mm.
it. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's another one that you would call a cult classic.
mm.
So yeah, it's directed by what's his name? Brian Usna, the guy that produced the Reanimator movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see if that's any good. And then we're doing and then 42 we're doing Friday the 13th, part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan.
I mean,
The
it's the weirdest thing ever. You just go
it's
straight for the number 8.
Yeah, it was made in 1989. And
Yeah, I know.
it used to be my favorite Friday the 13th when I was a kid, for
Mm-hmm.
some reason, and then I rewatched it, and now I hate it. I
Because that
absolutely
is
hate it.
that Manhattan, right?
Yes, Jason
Yeah.
Takes Manhattan, and it's terrible. And that's why
Yeah, yeah.
we're gonna do a
But
commentary track for it.
but I would say that the 8th one is probably the most fun one.
Yes. It,
Because yeah, it is terrible in every way. Because they completely misjudge what Jason should be and what he should be doing. But that makes it like almost a comedy because nothing makes sense and it's so weird.
yeah, and especially the parts with Jason in Manhattan.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They're a
yeah.
lot of they're a lot of
So
fun.
so yeah, yeah, it's not a good one, but it's a
No.
fun one.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun shitting on it. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then week 43, we're doing Leviathan.
Hmm.
And the next week we're doing The Abyss. And I wanted to, because I don't know if you know about James Cameron's The Abyss. It's the movie about
Yeah,
the
it's one
oil
of those movies
platform
that
underwater.
it's one of those I've had on my like list of movies to see forever, but
Mm-hmm.
never got around to it.
Okay. Then I gotta ask you, what how do I do this? What is it about?
But
What is it about? Like,
well,
what do you
from
know
what
about it?
I always pictured that it's along, not the same, but along the lines of the movie Sphere.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
people go underwater to investigate something, and they find something weird or supernatural, something like that.
Okay.
That's sort of what I. But I know also James Cameron, so it's probably going to be a very very long, beautiful shots. Yeah, really
Yeah.
artsy.
We haven't decided which version of the movie to watch yet, but I mean, the shortest version is still 2 hours and 40 minutes. So
Yeah, so yeah, that's why I haven't gone around to seeing it
yeah.
because I know it sounds interesting,
Mhm.
but it also sounds like like an effort to watch
Mm.
in the same way as Stalker is
Oh, okay.
the
It's
1979.
it's a little easier to swallow, but it's
Uh,
similar. But why I picked those two movies is because
mhm,
Leviathan, which is a very similar movie. It's also about like a research station underwater,
mhm,
and something weird comes on board,
mhm,
and it's about people going nuts. That one came out in March of 1989, and just like March, and then in August of 1989, The Abyss came out and became like a huge hit, and
mm,
Leviathan kind of sunk, at the box
mhm.
office. So I just wanted to compare those two to see why
Yeah,
one worked and why one didn't.
yeah.
Because I kind
Um,
of like both of them. I like.
it's like the same thing like with Bugs Life and Ants.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Two
Um,
separate team came up with the exact same thing at the exact same time.
yeah. There's no espionage going on in Hollywood. No, no,
Nuh-uh.
no,
No, no, no,
no,
no,
no,
no.
no. So that's
Don't.
week 43 for Leviathan, and then 44 The Abyss, and then
No.
after that week 45 we're doing Ghostbusters 2.
Your favorite movie series.
Oh yes, yes, I have expressed my love for Ghostbusters.
But you do like the second one better than the first one, right? Or don't? Or
No.
well, okay.
I think I did when I was a kid, but
Yeah,
rewatching them
maybe.
now, I can definitely see why people like the first one and don't like the second one.
Yeah.
Um,
I never liked the second one,
mm,
and I'm lukewarm on the first one.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I can see.
I don't hate it as much as you do, but
Yeah, I don't hate it. I just don't understand why people like it so much.
yeah,
Anyway, so that's kind of yeah. I put Ghostbusters 2 on here because it's one of the biggest movies from
yeah,
1989, but it's also so we can further discuss why people seem to like Ghostbusters.
yeah,
That's an excuse to talk about Ghostbusters.
yeah. I mean, that is like one of your like guilty pleasures with this channel to just find reasons to talk shit about Ghostbusters
Yeah, yeah. Why not?
whenever you
Um,
can.
I was going to make that a commentary episode, but Red Letter Media already made that, so I don't want to,
Okay.
once again.
I mean, when should you just start making videos the day after Red Letter Media and do the exact same topic? Shouldn't we start doing that soon?
No, no, we can't do that. That wouldn't be nice. I like them. I don't want them to be mad at me. Anyway, moving on. But after Ghostbusters 2, we're doing Indiana Jones 3. So week 46 is Indiana Jones 3, or Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a commentary track. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Indiana Jones. And once
Mm.
again, why I don't understand why people love the first Indiana Jones movie.
The first one is great.
It's good. I think the second one's better. But that's just me.
Yeah.
It's just me, I guess. But yeah, once again, that's more of an excuse to talk about Indiana
Yeah.
Jones. um, but then we're doing another third movie. We're doing Karate Kid 3 in week 47. Once again, more to talk about the entire franchise. But
Yeah.
yeah, Karate Kid 3, the movie nobody wanted, but it's actually, yeah, it's pretty good. It's fine.
That's the one with the girl, right?
No, that's the fourth one, or whatever you want to call that one.
Oh, okay. Which
So
one is the
there's
third
like
one?
the third one is yeah, exactly. Which one's the third one?
I mean,
That's the problem
I
with the
saw.
third one.
I have see. I watched a marathon with all the movies, like
Mm.
maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, they used to be on TV
Uh,
all the time here in Sweden.
yeah. So I
that's all
have
saw.
seen all them, but it's just a blur. Which one is the which one?
Yeah, that's kind of what's interesting with the third one. It's not a bad movie, but nobody remembers it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about that. And then we're doing a movie that I know at least you and I really like, and it's. I wanted to have more weird movies on, but it was kind of hard to fit it in, so I just picked this one. We're gonna do Tetsuo the Iron Man, which is like this. It's really weird. It's like this
Yeah.
avant-garde, like I don't know what you call metal fetish movie from Japan.
Yeah,
Um, it's super weird, but it's a good.
it's one of those movies that doesn't really have a story, more just an emotion.
Yeah, yeah, and it's I haven't seen it in a very very long time, so I'm
Same.
excited
I haven't seen
to
it
watch it.
for, I'd say, at least 15 years.
Yeah, and I probably saw it at the same time then, because I'm pretty sure I've only
Yeah.
seen it with you. So yeah.
So I mean, it could be if we go back and watch it now. Like, no, this is terrible.
No,
Extremely terrible.
I don't think so. I've been called lately. I've been called pretentious by a lot of people. So, I mean, I'm not like.
Only lately?
Oh well, yeah, it's been bubbling up again. I don't know why. So I still think I'm gonna like it because it's a pretentious movie. Like, I don't know. That's not a bad thing, is it? It's not bad to be pretentious, right?
Well, I mean,
I mean,
it depends in what way.
I suppose. But I think I'm gonna like it. But
Yeah,
then,
well, we'll see.
oh yeah. But then we're going to counteract the pretentiousness of Tetsuo with doing a commentary track for Tango and Cash, the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah, so you say.
Yes, so I say.
That's one of those movies I don't understand why people like it that much. I mean, it's okay,
Yeah.
but you and Gabbe are just screaming about it.
Yeah, I know Gabe is gonna be on that one. yeah,
I imagine just the entire movie commentary will just be applause from you two.
yeah, yeah, kill him. Yeah, yeah. And then you saying I wasn't so good. Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
No,
Watch the movie.
I will try asking questions. So, what do we think about the?
Oh, because it's awesome and it's Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get into it when we actually do the commentary. But I don't. How should I say? I ironically love that movie. But we'll get into that. It's one of those
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
And then we're in the home stretch here. So week 50, we're doing the biggest movie of 1989 and the biggest movie for a few years. Batman, the 1989 Batman.
Great movie. Great movie.
Great movie. Yeah, one of the greatest comic book movies of all time, and still like top 5 Batman movies, maybe even top 3 Batman.
And
movies.
still the best Bruce Wayne of all of them.
Oh yeah. But
I don't know about the Batman part, but Bruce Wayne, the best Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, definitely. The movie that made me love Batman as a character.
Yeah.
And then the movie that we're actually going to start with, I put at the end. We're gonna do Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
Another very, very nice and comfortable movie that came out in 1989.
Haven't seen it in years. Remembered it was nice.
Yes, that's really all you can say about the movie. It's a very nice movie. Yeah. And then, like a sign from above. The last Monday is actually the day before Christmas. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do it on Sunday, depending on what people's, or maybe we'll even do it earlier. I don't know, but based on people's plans. But if we can, we're doing Christmas Vacation on the Monday before Christmas.
For Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Christmas Eve, yes. So it's the 23rd of December because we mainly celebrate on Christmas Eve here in Sweden.
Yeah.
Yes, my favorite Christmas movie of all time. One of my favorite movies of all time. I have talked about it more than once on this channel, and I tried to like have it in or around Christmas on this channel every year, and I watch it every year.
I mean, it's one of the best Christmas movies.
Yes, I absolutely fucking love it. And I don't know if I mentioned it. We're doing a commentary track for that one.
I gotta say, I haven't. It's been years since I've seen it in its entirety.
Okay.
Every year I see it on when it's on TV, but always either from the beginning to middle or the middle to the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I have my tradition is always to watch it on my birthday, which is like a week before Christmas. So it's always my parents come over, maybe some friends, and it's like, right, now we've eaten, let's watch Christmas Vacation. No discussion, we're gonna watch it. I'll probably do it this year as well. But yeah, that's the entire schedule from now up until the end of the year, and after that we'll take a break until next year, whenever that is, whenever we start again. But yeah, I'm gonna try and post this somehow on YouTube. Well, you can do it in the community tab. So it's gonna be up there, and yeah. It's good to have a schedule for once. I don't have to stress about figuring out what we're gonna talk about.
How long have we been doing this now?
Oh, like we've been doing it since 2017, I think. I think the first like proper episode we made was when we talked about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that was, I think it was 2017, or even earlier even. But like doing it, this new format, this proper format, is really just since the beginning of this year.
Yeah. And we still never had a schedule before.
Yeah, we never have a schedule. I've had like a couple of episodes in mind, and like sort of prepared for it, but yeah, never really had a proper schedule before. So hopefully this will work.
Yeah.
And also, I was going to put in like, maybe some episode we want to do about something that's been happening in the entertainment business or something. But fuck that! I just put as many movies as possible in. So. Let's see if I can find it here. No, wait. We did our first. It was still called Please Don't Make It Podcast back then, but we did it live. So I called it, Please Don't Make It Podcast, a conversation with a friend. It was the 3rd of July, 2017. So it's been a while.
Yeah. Damn. Well, yeah.
But that's it. Yeah. We talked a little bit about the Burbs, and then we talked a lot about Tom Hanks and about what other movies we're gonna watch. But like we said, yeah, it's kind of an unremarkable film that had the potential to be much better. So.
Yeah, but I feel we have a lot of movies in store that maybe we're not gonna have that much to talk about. The movies in the schedule.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be similar to this episode.
Yeah, I think
more of a
them
chill episode, just not that deep.
Oh yeah,
as we've had before.
Yeah, there's not a lot of there's not gonna be any deep conversations here. I don't think so.
No.
Maybe Society, maybe Tetsuo, but I think that's it. But then of course the commentary tracks are gonna be more in depth.
It's gonna be longer.
More fun and longer, definitely. But that's that. Thank you to. There was actually people watching. I don't know who, but someone watched. So thank you for watching. To everyone in the archived version, thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't like it. And if you've seen the Burbs, write something down in the comments. And also, if you give it a thumbs down, give it some constructive criticism. That's always appreciated. But yeah, that's about it. Hit subscribe so you're always updated when we release a new video or a new live stream, which is going to be every Monday now. It's going to be every Monday. No more hiatus. Not until the end of the year. But still, hit the subscribe button and the little bell thing. And we'll see you next Monday when we're going to talk about Born on the 4th of July. But until then, later this week, we're doing, or I'm doing, a proper review of It Chapter 2 and a spoiler cast of It Chapter 2. And then next Monday, Born on the 4th of July. But until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.